Just try and colour him in a bit. I'll just do that underneath that layer. So today I'm just going to be doing a Kickstarter backer's pet who is called Malcolm the conure. Yeah, I'm just going to be doing him, painting him sort of for use in the game. So if anyone's got any questions or anything, sort of feel free to write them in chat. I've got sort of James here, and he's going to be chatting with me and just sort of let me know if there's any questions and stuff. I was trying to decide on what way to do him because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to cover up all of his feathers and stuff because he's got nice colouring, but I didn't know, obviously, sort of, you know, whether to do him fully covered up or with a bit of his colouring showing through. And I know most of the characters in Lord Winklebottom sort of investigates have sort of a, you know, they've all got clothes on, whereas he looks a bit more nude, I suppose, compared to the others. So I'm trying to kind of keep him so he's partly covered but not too too covered.
Is that going to be quite shocking in the world of the Lord Winklebottom to have a nearly nude character?
Probably would be, yeah. A bit racy. But yeah, he's just going to be showing off his plumage and stuff, I suppose. Just he's a bit more of a sort of. Well, I know sort of the backer sort of said that he's quite loud, like he was quite a loud sort of kind of mouthy parrot, I suppose. So yeah, that kind of might make sense anyway. So, are you on the chat and everything, James?
I am. There's nothing.
No, that's all right. Just
the Deluxe Tux says it's so nice to see Winklebottom art in action.
Thanks very much.
He's the type of dude who walks around shirtless at the beach.
Yeah. yeah. I mean, he's kind of shirtless in this. He's just going to be wearing a cape, so sort of nude, but with a cape. So yeah, he's a bit sort of brazen. Yeah, it's my first time streaming, so I'm sort of like finding it a bit weird in a way, sort of like painting and chatting, because I'm normally just very quiet and listening, just listening to stuff on the radio and things. So it's a bit different for me at the moment. But yeah, this Conyure's name is Malcolm, so. He's sort of showing it to sort of the backer who sort of owned him later on after I finish it. So hopefully he'll be happy.
Gallozo Game says this parrot is so cute.
Thanks, Jan. Sort of hope your streams have gone well as well, Jan. Trying to it's hard sometimes to figure out the colours when it's feathers. It's sort of hard to kind of tell what's going to be working sort of best in certain areas and stuff, so there's probably going to be a lot of back and forth on this sort of afterwards, so it definitely will take longer than an hour to sort out this. So I'm not expecting to finish the entire thing in one go, because it can take quite a long time to get these working, get them looking okay. So just trying to figure out the best colours really for him. So he's a bit kind of white, so around the eye, get that working. Yeah, so it seems to be sort of weird in a way, sort of talking to myself, I suppose, sort of doing this kind of stuff. So normally, sort of when I'm painting, I just kind of listen to sort of like music or radio, sort of adaptions of stuff, like sort of murder mysteries and things like that. So it sort of gets you a bit more in the mood, I suppose. So it is a little bit alien, sort of talking sort of to myself while doing things like this. So yeah, hopefully sort of, you know.
You've listened to a lot of Agatha Christie, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you've been drawing the art for Winklebottom.
Yeah, sort of loads and loads of different Poirots and things like that have been sort of on the radio. So I've sort of been doing like those and just whatever Agatha Christie's are on there, basically. I've just been kind of going through and listening to them. So it's sort of a bit more themed, I suppose, the stuff that I've been listening to. So just getting the red for him here. So
we can't see on the camera, but what are you drawing on?
Drawing on a Cintiq. So it makes it a bit, I don't know, I kind of prefer doing it on a Cintiq, sort of, rather than sort of with a normal little graphics tablet, just because I like to be able to see what I'm drawing on directly. So I don't know if my hand-eye coordination is quite good enough or not for like using sort of with a normal graphics tablet. So the Cintiqs work really well, so I'm sort of quite happy with that. So it's sort of, it's been quite nice sort of using this to try and sort of get all the art done. So I'm using that, and then the application that I'm in is Clip Studio Paint. So I kind of prefer this in a way than Photoshop, just because of the features and stuff that are available. And it's a bit more like painting naturally. So it just feels a bit nicer in a way, sort of, to paint this way. It's a bit natural, bit more natural, sort of, when it comes to blending and stuff. So, but yeah, I've got like a sort of kind of free monitor set up where I've got like the Cintiq in the middle, and then then I've got sort of two normal monitors either side. So it's so I can kind of look at reference and sort of use those and kind of keep sort of it's kind of nice because it kind of folds down into an easel sort of style thing. So I can use it as a normal monitor, or just kind of have it as an easel. So yeah, I use this sort of all the time. So just trying to get the colours matched in a bit here. Sort of hard to kind of sometimes just work around with feathers. Like I said earlier, it's sort of easier to kind of spend hours just kind of working on feathers because of the way that they're set up, the layers and stuff. So I'll be definitely having to go back over this a bit later and add more detail in. Just getting the bulk of the colours in sort of at the moment. Yeah, these aren't going to be sort of speaking characters in the game. These are going to be portraits and stuff that are going to be sort of around the world. So yeah, for the speaking characters and stuff, they're all kind of they're all painted and sort of ready for animation at the moment. And I'm just sort of needing to kind of go through and sort out the sort of final script for those before I start sort of doing the voiceover recording and stuff for those. So I'll be doing that sort of at some point sort of within the next few weeks. So the rest of the stuff that I'm doing at the moment is stuff that's kind of going into the environment and just sort of take part of the game really. So So James, obviously, that's here, it's my husband that's sort of reading through the chat and stuff and asking questions. He currently is voicing Winklebottom.
Currently?
Well, you know what I mean. Currently.
Well, they're fired.
I'll just tell you like this. Live. So, yeah, I know he's been voicing Winklebottom since the very beginning. And I know a lot of people are kind of happy with the Winklebottom voice. So I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just sort of happy with the Winklebottom voice. So yeah, if you've got any questions as well for me or James, because he's Winklebottom is here as well, so feel free to ask. But yeah, we sort of managed to kind of buy sort of some better equipment sort of for the voiceovers and stuff like that, because I've got a better microphone and stuff now, so we just need to set that up and get it kind of working really. Sort of trying to sort of set up a bit more of a quiet kind of room somewhere. So maybe like kind of trying to get something a bit more soundproofed, because at the moment it's just all been sort of recorded and stuff in like, spare bedroom and stuff, so we definitely need to get sort of like a bit more soundproofing and stuff on the recordings, because I know some of them are a little bit muffled and stuff in places, so I'm going to be sorting that out for the final recording of the game.
The Deluxe Tuck says he'd be saying more, but his dog is asleep on the keyboard.
Okay. Our dog is just sitting here asleep at the moment, so that's kind of surprising. She's usually barking her head off when I'm trying to do stuff. So yeah, because sometimes I teach sort of part-time sort of on games development, sort of on an art course and design course, and yeah, usually if I'm doing like a lecture or something, she'll just start barking her head off. So going through and just barking her head off at people outdoors and stuff. So yeah. I sort of don't want to pick her up because she's right next to me at the moment. She'd probably start growling then. But a little chihuahua. I might sort of, I've got some of the basic colour in there, so I might kind of go in and start to sort of do a bit of his clothing that he's got on, just so I can get an overall view of how it's going to look. And then I'm going to go back in and add the detail on later on. So I'll add his beak in a little bit first. It's a bit sort of greyish.
The Deluxe Tuck says you have students as Captain Market. You can make Winklebottom a required course.
I have said to them about the sort of the Winklebottom stuff, so hopefully some of them kind of actually follow it and stuff, or might buy the game afterwards. Sort of hopefully.
Silvernose Studio says my husband, who's not here at the moment, used to teach game design, but it became so frustrating he decided to make a game.
I can kind of understand in some ways. Yeah, because I sort of like I've been teaching like a bit of a mix of stuff, sort of for the past couple of years. So I'm doing it part time, and it's nice to sort of like obviously get away from the desk. Although this year I've just been at the desk because I've not been able to go anywhere. I'm just going to save this actually while I remember. So I've been kind of doing it all remote and stuff, but it was nice to be able to get out of the house originally and kind of go and chat to people, because obviously otherwise I'm just sitting here sort of just doing this sort of stuff all the time with no sort of other sort of human interaction.
I don't count.
Well, you weren't working at home then,
No,
were you? So that wasn't you weren't working at home, so that so yeah, it was just like no other human interaction, because it was dogs. But,
You had to invent a bunch of talking animals.
Yeah, talking animals. So yeah, I can understand in a way why people do stream then, sort of, especially if they lived on their own or something like that. I can imagine it sort of making it a bit more sort of social, I suppose, to actually be able to have a chat with people and and stuff, because I've sort of since like everything last year, obviously, sort of I've been working from home, so I've been doing like lecture sort of recording and stuff like that, and uni work sort of from home, and then James has been sort of working from home sort of in his job. So yeah, I've just been sort of stuck indoors with James for the past year.
You make it sound so appealing.
Yeah. No, it's been nice. It's just been nice to actually be able to go out as well somewhere. But, so yeah, I've just been sort of stuck on the computer really all year. But yeah, I was doing sort of, before I went into doing sort of the teaching and stuff, I was doing sort of working AAA sort of games, and just kind of wanted a bit of a difference really, because I've been working AAA for sort of quite a few years, and was just getting a bit bored, because obviously you're kind of working on whatever project the company's doing and stuff at the moment, so you don't necessarily have much of a sort of creative input in that way. So I kind of wanted to do my own stuff really, and kind of just kind of like start doing my own characters and things really. So, and to do that sort of stuff, you do kind of need to kind of leave a games company, because you're not always allowed to sort of do it. Depends on the company, but yeah, I kind of needed to be able to do my own stuff. So I thought like teaching was quite a good option, because it allows you to do whatever you want really in a way. So you can do teaching as well as sort of working on your own games and stuff. So it's been quite a nice sort of process, sort of moving into teaching and stuff like that. So just trying to get the
Doug's saying about the Crimson Diamond and Therapods and Rosewater have all been, developers of those have all been regularly streaming. So you get a nice community around the game.
Yeah, I sort of wondered about trying to do it sort of more, like sort of, because it's that sort of thing where you're kind of worried about, I don't know, you're just a bit nervous about kind of being, chatting with people and stuff like that live, and doing the art live, and dealing with sort of moderation and stuff like that. But yeah, I know it sort of works out quite well for some people. I just, I suppose I'm not much of a social person, I suppose, in a way, sort of like, and when I'm sort of drawing, I can kind of just zone out, and I don't even notice the time sometimes when I'm drawing, so I can just spend like ages just kind of hours on here, and it just gets dark gradually and stuff, so, and I don't necessarily say a word then and stuff, so it's a bit different obviously if you're having to stream and stuff. You've got to keep chatting and things, so I'm trying to sort of I wouldn't mind sort of trying to do it a bit more, sort of like as I'm doing maybe props and stuff like that. But some of the artwork and stuff I didn't want to kind of give too much away as well with the game, so like with the environments and stuff like that, there's some sort of, especially like later in the game, I don't want to kind of give away those sort of areas and stuff like that, because it's going to be sort of a bit of a surprise and stuff. So yeah, I didn't want to kind of have too many spoilers and things really.
Silver Note Studio says, who's going to do the final voices, if you know?
At the moment, sort of, I'm going to have Sally Beaumont sort of for some of the sort of female voices, because I'd sort of worked with her for the demo for the goat. She was doing the screaming goat for that, so I'm sort of going to have Sally Beaumont sort of doing some more sort of female voices. And with the other ones, there's a few people that I've sort of got lined up to sort of work with, but nothing sort of fully confirmed yet. So I'll kind of be going and just kind of chatting with people, sort of probably in the next month. I'll be trying to start contacting people again, just because I've been putting stuff off a bit while everything's been a bit all over the place really in the past. So over the past year and stuff, I've been trying to kind of just concentrate on getting all the art and the bulk of that done and stuff. So I'll be kind of probably getting in touch with people sort of, I suppose, yeah, maybe in about a month. But I know sort of a lot of the feedback for sort of Frumple and Frumple and sort of Winklebottom has been sort of quite well received. So I think James would like to still do those, wouldn't you, James?
Yeah. Well, I'm cheap.
Yeah, because I don't have to pay him, so that's that's fine. But I do have obviously a budget for like the voice actors and stuff like that, so it's just that he's not getting any of that. But but yeah, actual sort of I've got a budget set aside for the voice acting and stuff, so that's so going towards that. But yeah, so for the main character, I think like Winklebottom and Frumple, so I keep James, but we just end up re-recording everything though with the better audio set up.
How many words is the game going to end up?
Well, I was thinking originally sort of around like 50,000, but it's that kind of thing where it's a bit awkward to kind of tell in a way, sort of until you've kind of finalised the script properly. So yeah, I'm sort of in that process of I need to kind of go through and finalise the script, sort of get that properly finalised and stuff, and just get it all sorted. So I'm thinking it'd be around that 50k mark. Just trying to figure out if I should do this green or not for the for his cape and his top hat or not. Trying to figure out. Has anyone got any advice on what colours to use? So I was wondering about keeping it sort of greenish, so it's sort of a bit more like his plumage and his feathers on his back in real life. But I'm just trying to figure out if it. I know most of them have capes and stuff that are black in real life and stuff, but. Don't know.
Wings Fun says, please bring on the screaming goat next time.
Yeah, I could sort of, if I figure out how to get that working, that sort of animated, they like the emotes and stuff that pop up at the side. And I could try and figure out how to get that working and then set up a screaming goat instead.
Screaming goat every time someone subscribes.
Yeah.
Silver Nose Studio says green cape, blue tie.
I could do, yeah. See what sort of works. So I kind of want to try and incorporate his colours into it. So sort of, I didn't want to keep it too black or anything. So I know like Winklebottom and a few of the others have like black sort of clothing and stuff like that. But I thought it'd be best to keep him more colourful. So yeah, I could give that a go. Sort of see how that works. Wasn't sure about the top hat. Whether to see that as a sort of green or something maybe as well, just to kind of keep it all quite vibrant. He was supposed to be quite a loud bird as well, so make his clothes loud.
Adventure Game Geek says black cape and hat and red bow tie.
So kind of a bit like Winklebottom, I suppose, in that way. So because he's got a red bow tie as well.
Deluxe says he had a green checked. Is it conure? Is that how you pronounce it? Conure?
I think it's conure.
As a family pet for a long time, can confirm they are loud.
Yeah, that's why I wondered about keeping his clothes loud. So it's like loud kind of looking. I'm just going to take a look at that. Just do it when I'm kind of going up to the pictures. I'm just kind of doing like a bit of a colour picker, but they don't always come out sort of very well. So I'm just going to go in and kind of have a look afterwards and see if there's anything. Just trying to get like a brighter colour, so I can sort of use that. But
Uru says the feathers at the end of his wings are more blue, so maybe the cape has a blue lining.
Yeah, I could always add a bit of a lining to it because I hadn't really thought of that, to be honest. So I might go over later. Sort of add a bit more on. Yeah, it's one of them things where I'm definitely not going to be able to finish this in the in the next sort of like half an hour or so. So yeah, what I'll do is I'm going to be recording sort of the whole lot, and then sort of I'll post that up sort of later on, or potentially just see if I can try and stream again and get it working and stuff. So you can see like the whole process, and I'll post post a picture or something with the final one later on as well. But I usually sort of do them over like a few days or something, so I have a bit of a break sort of in between. Sometimes it depends on the character. So sometimes I've done them all in one day, but it's sometimes just a bit of a tricky sort of thing of like getting it all done it. It makes your eyes a bit sore sometimes when you're just sort of staring at stuff constantly. So I sometimes spread it out, and especially with the lecturing work and stuff, it's sometimes a bit difficult to sort of, obviously get it all done on one day and stuff, so I have to kind of go back and do it another time. But, just thinking if I...
Do you have a favourite sort of animal to draw? Like her feathers? Do you prefer feathers or fur or skin? Or
Yeah, it's sort of odd, really. It's hard to sort of properly say, because a lot I do sort of... I mean, feathers can be quite difficult, sort of trying to get stuff done, but then again, fur can as well, because I think you kind of have that thing where you want to go in and zoom in and start to draw individual bits of fur, which doesn't really work, I suppose. So there's a few things. I mean, I think in a way, birds are sort of, quite nice to draw, sort of feathers and stuff. It's trying to make sure you get, past that point of trying to go in and do all the little details on feathers and stuff. But I kind of prefer birds in a way, just because they're sort of a bit more, I suppose, a bit more interesting to look at, when it comes down to it.
Adventure Game Geek says, what's the parrot's name?
Oh, it was Malcolm. It was her backer's pet, and it's called Malcolm. So his name kind of fits in with the world a bit more. It's quite a sort of Winklebottom style name, I suppose, really, to be Malcolm. But although I've also been reading Jurassic Park lately, so it just makes me think a bit of Dr. Ian Malcolm as well. But just get the bulk of the colour in now. So I decided with this one, because of the way he was standing, because I know his owner said that he liked to hold bits of food and stuff like that. So as you can see in that reference picture up there, so he liked to hold food and just wander around with it and stuff. So I was going to go for him sort of holding like a little sherry glass instead, because I thought it would look quite nice with the character. So he's just going to be holding like a tiny sherry glass, sort of looking quite posh. So I was thinking of making him like a lord as well. So he's potentially a lord that Lord Winklebottom knows from the House of Lords. So he can be just like a very loud sort of lord that's quite vocal in there. So, and got obviously sort of, I haven't obviously started on the little sherry glass yet, but I've got the little sketch in there as well for him, so move on to that in a bit.
Tuck says, I love the tiny little glass.
Thank you. Yeah, I quite like those tiny sherry glasses that people had, because like I said, I've been sort of listening to a lot of old stuff, but been watching sort of old stuff as well, because I've got a few box sets of things for Christmas, and the stuff like I got a box set actually of Lord Peter Wimsey for Christmas, which I'd never seen before, and there's lots of sort of like people drinking sort of wine and port and stuff in like minuscule glasses and things. So it's sort of I like the sort of the posh sort of fancy look of those sort of style things. So I kind of wanted to try and get that in here as well. So I don't know sort of what you think of the green hat and cape. I'm sort of trying to figure. I don't know if it sort of if it looks bright enough or not. I don't know. Sort of just trying to sort of see if I can get this. I'll be adding in more highlights and stuff later on, but just trying to see if I can get this looking alright. Has anyone got any opinions about the sort of the current sort of colour and stuff for it? Because just thinking sort of if it was maybe incorporate a bit of his blue from his tail feathers or something. Just so it's keeping the parrot look to it really. draw a bit of that in. So I could try and do a bit of a lining as well, sort of like sort of when I mentioned about sort of drawing a bit of a sort of blue lining in there to kind of get that across. So I might sort of incorporate that in sort of when it comes to the final piece. I'll just draw a bit of colour in now, and then I can kind of go back and, you know, be sure to sort of add that in. Just draw that in now. So, trying to figure out what to do next now. I just keep forgetting to save and stuff, so I'm just pushing the button to save at the moment. So I've got a Stream Deck set up that I always use, obviously not for streaming generally, I use it for just art and stuff, so I have all the brushes and things set up on that. And I usually sort of use that then to kind of go just quickly sort of navigate through, because obviously I haven't got sort of very good access to the keyboard when the Cintiq is sort of down like this. So I just kind of, the Stream Deck's really handy for that sort of thing actually, sort of using just for art, and I'm kind of playing around with that. So I was going to kind of go in and a bit darker down here. I wasn't entirely sure how to pose him really because of his little leg being up. Because obviously he couldn't really wear trousers then, so that's what I was saying about him sort of being a bit nude underneath, like underneath the cape. So yeah, he might look a bit sort of risque compared to some of the other winkle bottom animals that are around. So just add a bit darker sort of in there. So yeah, it's sort of it's quite nice sort of in a way chatting while streaming. It's just something I'm not really that used to. Sort of obviously sort of having not streamed before and stuff. It's nice kind of getting having a bit of a chat going on and stuff. I feel like it's handy to have like James sort of chatting. Sort of, because obviously I think if the chat window was just in the side, I'd find it a bit more difficult to kind of view it and see what I'm doing at the moment.
Could you just add something like a shirt sleeve cuff to his non trousers?
What I was going to do is I'm going to do over this. I'm going to do like a little collar that's just a bit of a weird one, sort of like a little collar like this. I'll just scrabble it in. So yeah, I know. Yeah, I could do a little collar, a little cuff with like a cuff link on it. I might do that actually. Thanks, thanks for the idea. Yeah, I was going to kind of go in and just do like sort of this sort of style collar. I was just worried if it would make him look a bit like a sort of, you know, topless waiter or something like. What with sort of him not having a shirt underneath. So hopefully sort of looks okay. So I might do that now. I'll just add.
Tuck says he's wearing a little birdie loincloth. Just off frame.
Would it be animal print? That's something I wasn't sure about, like if animals would wear animal print or a different animal.
A number of weird conversations we've had along this.
Yeah.
How does food work in this
universe? Yeah.
Do they eat meat?
yeah. There's been a few sort of weird conversations. Yeah, I didn't know whether to kind of keep them as vegetarians or not. I'm just drawing in a rough bit here now so that I can remember to go back and sort of add in a cuff later on. So I've got a cuff sort of coming into play here, and then I'll kind of go in and add a little cuff link on that later on. So yeah, he'll look a bit sort of, I suppose, a little bit sort of risque compared to the other ones that are in the scene. But yeah, with regards to food and stuff for the animals and stuff like that, sort of it is a bit odd because I'm trying to figure out if they should be carnivores or, you know, eat each other and stuff or not, really. So I'm trying to keep it as simple in that way as possible and just kind of have them, like, ideally sort of just eating, well, not eating really as much as possible, apart from sort of Winklebottom when you see him eating plants and stuff. Because obviously it doesn't matter if he's just going to be a sort of herbivore anyway, so that's fine.
Here he says, Magic Malcolm XXL.
Yeah. I've not actually seen that film, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Cressup says, hello, what a dapper parrot.
Hello Laura. Thanks for joining. So, just kind of...
Here he says, mate, I mean, you can get blue gentlemen's shirts with white cuffs and collars, so something like that is not without precedent.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll do this little sort of white cuff. I might make it a little bit bigger than that, possibly, sort of in the final piece, and then just kind of have him with his weird little foot holding. It's awkward drawing feet and stuff on animals sometimes, trying to figure out, you know, kind of the hands and feet and how they work. So I'll sort of just colour it all in pink at the moment. I'm going to go back later and draw something. So I've never actually had a bird sort of like as a pet myself. Sort of my granddad had a budgie, but that was about it. So sort of not seen that many sort of bird feet up close. I just use a bit of artistic license, I think, when it comes to the feet. So yeah, I kind of go in there because I don't think you're going to get many birds that are going to be holding sort of sherry glasses anyway. So I can probably just do what I want.
Not much reference for that.
No, I'll probably just do what I want really with that. So going over the line a bit there.
That's the first rule of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Primary school, you've got to stay inside the line, Charlotte.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. I don't like going over the lines. As a kid, I didn't like doing it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go in and sort of change a few little bits and stuff. But with his feathers, you can kind of get away with that. I suppose feathers and fur, you can kind of get away with going over lines. It doesn't matter too much.
The Luxtuck says the lines are just a suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you did draw the lines yourself.
Yeah, I drew them, so it's fine. Yeah, I can do what I want, I suppose, when it comes to that, really. So I'm just going to use that sort of turquoisey colour that he's got on his back and maybe use that as his bow tie, and just like I suggested with the lining and stuff like that, and kind of as the lining on the top hat maybe as well. Let's go in and use that. Yeah. I'll just colour that in. Yeah, I actually won a prize for colouring in when I was little. So it was a primary school competition, sort of colouring in. It was something through like a police or something. I can't remember what it was properly. It was colouring in this sheet, and I can't remember what I won for that. If it was a small beaded purse or something weird, which I don't think I own anymore, obviously. But yeah, I did win a prize for that. I was quite happy with that at the time. Yeah.
Cressup's saying about playing the Adventure X demo.
Oh yeah.
That was a while ago now.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago now. Was that 2018, wasn't it?
I think it was 2018.
Yeah, the end of 2018, I think that was. Yeah, because I was originally hoping to go to sort of Adventure X again, sort of in 2019, and then I remember I think, didn't we both get ill or something and couldn't go then?
I think so, yeah.
And then obviously last year happened, which meant that no one could do anything then. So yeah, I was hoping to sort of go back to Adventure X really and just meet people and sort of have a chat at some point, you know.
Or just go anywhere and
yeah,
meet
just
people.
go outdoors.
See other humans.
Yeah, sort of just do something, really. But yeah, sort of hopefully at some point this year might be able to do something, but sort of have to wait and see, I suppose, and see how it all pans out.
Silver Studio says Britain's next top crime scene illustrator. They do animal crimes.
Yeah. I don't know how many of them are about. Animal crimes. I know there's a lot of animal detectives coming about now, though. So, hopefully, the point and click community won't be sort of overwhelmed with animal protagonists and stuff. But I'm sort of trying to keep it so that they're more like animals, I suppose, rather than being too. I mean, I know they're humanised, but I'm trying to kind of do it so they've still got their animal traits and stuff. So they're kind of not all walking around like humans. So some of them are kind of a bit different from others. And stuff. So.
Says the priest, please do a chalk outline of the body and then hold competitions for colouring it in. That might be a bad taste.
Yeah, no.
I don't actually know how audible I am on the stream, but
I don't know. But that wasn't sort of that. That wasn't what the competition was at school. Sort of colouring in the chalk outline. It was something like It was a bunny wearing a police outfit or something. It was some mascot that they had or something, and it was like a bunny wearing a police sort of outfit, or should I say uniform? I don't know, outfit. So it was colouring in animals basically. So not much different, I suppose, to what I'm doing at the moment.
Barry says, it depends on how established you are as an artist. When you're a kid, you get a prize for staying inside the lines. After everyone agrees you're a real artist, going outside the lines is what makes it real art.
Yeah. It sort of depends, I suppose, on kind of what your definition of art is. Some people, I suppose, wouldn't really class just drawing fancy animals as art.
But what do they mean? What do they mean?
What, by...
what's the meaning behind the fancy animals?
Oh, yeah, the fancy animal. Oh, like in a sort of arty, sort of party sort of way. I don't know. I haven't really thought of that. I don't go that deep into that, I don't think. Trying to figure out what some of these bits are now, because I've made too many layers. I don't name them as I'm going through, which I know I should do, but I usually go back after I finish, and like before I finish for the day, I kind of go back in and rename all the layers, so then I know what I've done. Makes it a bit easier to manage.
Cressip said she won a Bonnie Baby competition in Ireland as a baby.
As a baby.
when her family was visiting. The locals weren't happy because she wasn't from the town. They probably still talk about that to this day.
Yeah, so some sort of like, like, oh my god. How outrageous. Yeah, I don't think I hadn't won many competitions like that sort of thing. I remember winning, I think, 2 or 3 prizes at primary school for art-based stuff at primary school, and one was like the little beaded purse, which was just, not amazing, but it's quite nice when you're little. And the other one was a Little Mermaid picture book. And I was quite happy with that, actually. Sort of one of those. As an adult, it's a bit different. You don't seem to win much then. But then again, I don't really enter anything. So I suppose it's a bit hard to kind of, as I start giving myself awards for things. So, it's I think the only other thing that I'd won as an adult was I won a lot of cheesecakes for our wedding from a wedding magazine. So not related to art in the slightest, just that. So let's go in here. Sort of adding a bit of, trying to add a bit of detail in here. So I'll probably go back into the cuff later on and add a bit more. I need to get that a bit darker. So yeah, I have to start at some point recording sort of the audio though again, sort of the previous stuff that James had sort of done for Winklebottom. So I'm going to try and sort out a bit of soundproofing potentially, maybe the downstairs cupboard or something, as our sort of professional style audio studio.
Professional style. Not actually professional.
No. Professional style. So basically a cupboard with a load of junk in it and some soundproofing. So, figure out what to do here for this cuff. I'll go back in later though and draw a bit more sort of on that. Sometimes I just kind of like flick between the sketches and stuff sometimes so that I can see like look at it without the sketch, because then sometimes you can see bits that you've missed off. So there's a few bits sort of there that have kind of gone over the lines that you can see, and yeah, his fingers are looking a bit weird at the moment, so I need to go in and sort those out. I might just go into his bow tie and draw a little bit of that first. Just going to get rid of that. Neaten up the bow tie slightly. So with the sort of in-game art and stuff that's for objects that aren't going to be sort of animated and stuff, I don't find it matters so much if it is a little kind of rough around the edges, because sometimes that sort of, I quite like that sort of painting style sometimes, because it just shows the sort of the types of brushes that you've been using and stuff. But when I'm sort of sometimes doing characters that have got to be animated, I have to go in and tidy up the edges and stuff because of getting ready to rig it and stuff like that. I sort of need it a bit neater sometimes. But I quite like leaving stuff a little bit messy sort of around the edges generally. So. When doing bow ties and stuff like that though, you sort of wonder if they just look a bit like sweet wrappers or something sometimes when you're trying to sort of go in and sort of draw in detail and stuff. You don't want them to just look sort of too much, you don't want them to sort of look too much like it's just coming out of a Quality Street box or something.
Stuck says he's seen videos of Wajidai voice actor Abe Goldfarb recording heartfelt dialogue for Strangeland in a cluttered bedroom closet.
I haven't seen those videos.
There's been a lot of voice actors in the last year very hastily putting studios together, hasn't there?
Yeah. Because I've seen a few people sort of online and stuff talking about that. Sort of people like voice actors that I've met at different events and stuff saying about. You know, I think a lot of them already had kind of some of their home studios set up and stuff, because I know Sally Beaumont does, and I think a few others do. Sort of, so they were probably sort of all right really when it all began, and they already had their set up. But I know a few other people sort of have had to just kind of like quickly try and sort out, you know, proper audio setups for their rooms and stuff. Because originally I was intending on trying to kind of use. You know, like a recording studio or something, sort of, you know, for voice actors and stuff. But I think now, the way I think it is, I think it'd be easier to just kind of get people that have like home recording studios and sort of do it that way instead. I think it'd be probably the easiest way for everybody really, rather than all cramming into a room with loads of different people and trying to sort of direct them and stuff. So let's finish that bit up. So, how are you finding doing voice acting, James? It's a bit different from what you normally have done, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it when people say they like it. I'm all about the praise. Duckstuck says the advantage you have a much larger pool of actors from which to cast.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter where people are based then as well, because that was something else that I was a bit worried about, was if it was sort of, if it was using a studio somewhere, because I'm based in Sheffield and stuff at the moment, if I'd have had to go down to London and stuff, or also who, obviously just who's around and stuff and who can get to places. So, it sort of makes it a bit easier, really, sort of to kind of choose from people and stuff. And but yeah, sorry, coughing. In the game, sort of like, there's not really going to be. I mean, everybody's pretty much English, really, sort of like, all the accents and stuff. So there's like not Americans and stuff like that. But it's, if you were doing a game with like lots of different sort of nationalities and stuff like that, it would be quite good, really, for doing that. If everybody's got their own home studio set up and you don't need to get people to travel and stuff in places, it's going to make everything much easier, I think, for people. Just trying to sort this out. That's going. We've. I quite like going to events and stuff, and you meet quite a lot of people at events, sort of when going there. So I've met a few people that were kind of interested in doing sort of voice acting and stuff that sort of I was going to try and get in touch with again, sort of when it comes to sort of doing the final recordings. It's one of them things though where you just don't want to kind of get people to record stuff too early, and then obviously if you do change something, then you've got to get in touch and sort of go back through it and sort of pay a load of extra money to get people to record stuff all over again and stuff. And it just seems like it's just easier to just try and get it all sorted sort of once it's all finalised. With James, obviously that doesn't matter because he's just free anyway, so just not paying him for his work.
No.
So, it doesn't matter though, does it? That
apparently it doesn't. No.
I don't know if this hat is starting to look a bit like the Mad Hatter sort of with the colours on it and stuff. I'm just going to get a bit more of a brighter sort of blue sort of look up there. I think I've got more done of him than I thought I might actually in this time, because I will go back and do more of him later, sort of to finish off Malcolm, but I think I wasn't sure entirely how much I'd get done. Obviously I've not started on his sherry glass yet. I've got to sort of just add a bit more colour in here.
RB73 says, a bit late to the stream, but Malcolm looks amazing.
Thanks very much. I'll post sort of proper pictures of him once I've completely finished him, but it'll be a while yet before he's final. So.
Wings Fund Me says, curious about some of the game inspiration. What is Charlotte's favourite Agatha Christie novel?
I mean, I haven't read them all, but I mean, I've seen a lot of the videos and stuff like that. The sort of the adaptions and stuff.
The videos on
videos
on VHS.
The old VHS one. I do like sort of And Then There Were None. Because that's sort of, I don't know. Everybody's quite horrible in that. Really. So there's not really any nice characters. Sort of, and sort of. I don't want to give the game away, obviously, in case anyone hasn't actually read that or anything, but or watched any sort of videos of it. But I sort of I don't know. I like that because it's quite dark. Also, a lot of the ones where they kind of involve sort of a bit of that kind of slightly supernatural sort of style stuff, where I know they don't kind of go in for the full supernatural sort of elements and stuff on them, but they kind of incorporate a bit of it so I quite like sort of some of those, because I was listening to like an adaptation that I've heard it before and stuff, a Sitterford Mystery, which is an Agatha Christie, and that's sort of like it's like a murder is sort of predicted during a séance and stuff and things, and it's just kind of I quite like that sort of supernatural sort of style stuff as well. So the ones that are quite dark and sort of a bit more sort of grim, I suppose, really, in a way, which sounds probably a bit weird, but I quite like some of those. But also, like with the films and stuff, I like the Peter Ustinov ones, sort of that he did, sort of, because they were a little bit more funny, I suppose, than some of the others. He sort of adds a bit more comedy to the role of Poirot. So I don't know if anyone's seen those or not, but they are funny, those ones. As funny as it gets, I suppose, like when someone's been murdered or something in there.
Or Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, the Sherlock Holmes ones. I mean, with that, I think the Hound Baskervilles. It's not just because it's got an animal in it.
That's the main reason. Not just that.
It's got a dog in it. That's it's not just that. It's it's that kind of thing where it's like it seems a bit supernatural, I suppose, to begin with, and I quite like that, and it just seems much darker, I think, than some of the others and stuff. So I do like those sort of ones that Hand the Baskervilles sort of stands out as one of the main ones that I like.
We're at less than 2 minutes now before the event stream ends.
Oh, wait, okay. So I didn't know whether to carry on or sort of finish up and then sort of have a break or not. I don't know really what to do really, whether to have a bit of a break or not, because I feel like I've got quite a bit done. Sort of. I know I haven't got his little glass and stuff, but anyone that's watching through the event page, so I might leave it at that then. I'll just once the event sort of finishes up, I might have a bit of a break from the streaming, sort of, and sort of continue later on, and let you know if I stream again then. So I hope you've sort of been enjoying it so far. I know it's been quite different for me because obviously it's my first ever stream, and I hope you've enjoyed watching Malcolm sort of being drawn. So if anyone's got any like last minute questions or anything, I'm sort of happy to answer them, and I'll try and sort of continue on with Malcolm then and post him sort of later on at some point. It'd probably be in another couple of days though, sort of once I get around to it.
Your time's up.
That's right, yeah. So am I on the main?
I think it's about a 30-second delay, so probably I think it's in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. Was anyone on the main page sort of chatting or anything? Or?
Tuck says I had a really great time with this stream. Thanks so much for doing it.
Thank you. So, but yeah, I'll let everybody know if there's any other sort of streams and stuff that I set up, and I'll save that for today. And
Uri says Malcolm is adorable. This has been super comfy.
Thank you. So, what I'll do is I'll stop recording then for now, and then sort of see everybody later then, and sort of maybe post a bit more about Malcolm later on. So, bye for now, everyone.